Hey guys, and welcome to Fit Tip Friday. This is a video series where I take a question that I've been asked at some point in my career and give you a quick, precise, to the point answer. For those of you who are disorientated, scared and confused about the change of scenery, don't worry, so am I. But first, take 2 seconds to subscribe to my YouTube channel, ashmaypt, and also give this video a thumbs up whilst you're at it. So, today's question is, how often should you train your abs? And there is a lot of conflicting information out there on how often you should train your abs. And the reason for this is because you've got one group of people saying that you never need to train your abs at all, purely because compound lifts like squats and deadlifts are more than enough to develop your abs. And then you've got people on the other side of the spectrum who are saying because your abs are made of such fast recovering muscle fibers, you should train your abs every single day to get the most ab growth. And guess what? They're both right. And so is every single person in between. And just a quick disclaimer before I get into giving my opinion and information on this matter, everything I'm going to discuss is going to be purely about aesthetics. When it comes to performance, when it comes to sports, when it comes to athletes, it's completely different. I'm just going to talk about aesthetics, the look, and training your abs to get a better look. So first off, we need to talk about whether you actually need to train your abs or not. And then if we know whether we should train our abs or not, we can then look at how often we should train our abs. To tackle the first part of should you train your abs, we're going to start super simple. Do you want to train your abs? If no, then don't. If yes, then do. Sorted. And if you're not sure if you want to train your abs, this is how you should think about it. Time that you spend training your abs is time that you're not spending training other muscles. If you've never been lean enough to see your abs, then you don't know if you want them to be more developed to improve your overall appearance. Remember, bigger, more developed abs aren't always better when it comes to appearance. Quite often they are, but for a lot of competitors, they're not. So until you've gotten yourself to a point where you're lean enough to know whether you want your abs to be more developed or not, don't train them specifically, just allow your compound lifts to take care of stimulating them and growing them to some degree. They won't reach their full potential, but that's okay because you don't know if you want to develop them more or not yet. So until you know, spend that time developing muscles that you know you do want to be bigger, like shoulders or biceps, for example. And then when you've got there, when you've got lean enough, when you know if you want to build your abs, build your abs. Next is how often to train your abs if you are going to. And we're quickly going to jump back to that simplistic view because it's where everything should start. Let's say I tell you in a minute that training your abs 4 times a week is the absolute best way to train your abs. Do you want to train your abs 4 times a week? If you don't, then don't. If you do, then do. Okay? Clear? Awesome. Now in terms of actually figuring out what frequency you should use for training your abs, you should go about this the same way you would go about any other muscle group. Training frequency is purely a way of handling and splitting up the weekly volume that you need to progress a muscle group. And from the current research and an anecdote from everyone that's anybody in the industry, training a muscle once per week is inferior to twice per week. So we're going to start at twice per week to begin with. And I want you to start with those 2 sessions being quite low volume. Let's say 3 sets of an ab exercise twice a week, totaling 6 sets of ab work per week. Now, if after those 2 sessions you were really sore, but you had recovered in time for that next session of training abs, then leave it where you are. You are spot on for now. If after those 2 sessions you were really sore and you were still sore when it came to the next session, you didn't recover in time, remove a set, go to 2 sets per session, 4 sets total per week, and then repeat that process until you aren't having that overlapping soreness. And on the other side, if after those sessions you weren't sore and you could have done more, add a set to each of those. So instead of being 3 sets on each workout, go up to 4 sets on each, 8 total weekly sets. And again, repeat that process. Were you sore enough to recover? Okay, don't add a set. If you weren't sore, add a set, and so on. And eventually, with this approach, you will reach a point where you're doing more sets than is actually beneficial within one workout, just because of that local and mental fatigue of training a muscle set after set after set. And for most people, that max end of training will be around 8 to 12 sets for the abs per session per week. Anything after that is going to be quite junky volume. So what you would do at this point is then add in that third session. So let's say before you'd built your way up to 12 sets in 2 workouts of the week, 24 total weekly sets. Instead of going up to 13, 14 sets per workout, instead now train your abs 3 times a week, but that might go back down to 8 sets per workout rather than 13 sets across 2, for example. And then you would just repeat that process over and over and over again until eventually you're training your abs 4 times a week, maybe 5 times a week, and so on. But I think most people will kind of cap out what is needed somewhere between that 2 to 4 sessions per week landmark. Just remember that your training should be auto-regulated, and frequency usually comes from a need rather than a desire. So you don't just pointlessly train your abs day after day. Do it if you need to, and only if you need to. But regardless of everything I just said, it still comes back to the old, do you want to do it? If yes, do it. If no, don't do it. Because at the end of the day, if you don't want to do it, then what is the damn point? That is all for today, guys. Thank you for watching Fit Tip Friday. I know it's your favourite series on YouTube, so give the video a like. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, ashmaypt. I have new videos coming out every single Tuesday and Friday, so join the team. What are you waiting for? Thank you again for watching. Until the next one, see you later, guys.